Hi, I'm Ellie Barnes and welcome to the craft room. I've got another fancy fold card for you today, so we're going to have a bit more fun in this fancy fold month. We're going to look at easel cards this week. So first thing I might do is just make sure I'm going live in the right place, because it's no good being somewhere else. No, that looks good. I think we're going to be okay. So hopefully you can join me and follow along. If you want to craft along with me, you're most welcome. I'll sing out measurements as we go and we'll create this card. So I'm not going to hang around too much. Oh, I do have to pull out the names, and I will do that. Just give me a minute and I will organise that. So I will do that in a second. But first of all, let's get these cards happening. I'm going to pop you down. I lost it all of a sudden there. I forgot to do that. We'll do it. Actually, no, I should do it now, but I have to go down. Sorry, ladies and guys. I have to go down and get everyone's name. So I will take it now. I'm just going to use first names and we will write everyone's name down. Where is my sticky notes? We'll get this happening. I think I'll pop you down to the desk and we'll get this happening, and I'll bring these names out. How about that? So let's get down and look at the desk. Here we are. Oh, I always struggle with this. You get these wonderful pieces of equipment, but mine just sinking today. I think I've got you there. Now, we better get you around the right way. There we are. There we are. So I'll bring in my craft mat so we get this all in order and I get things happening. So I'm going to jump out, down and look at who we've got in our comments. So we have Jane. Jane's lovely lady, come along to a couple of my classes. So there's Jane's name. I'll just fold her up and I am going to grab, where did I put my container? I should have had this organised, shouldn't I? There we go. Jane's in there. And we go to the next person. We have Renee. Oh, Renee. Let me spell that right for Renee. And again, I will fold that up. So they're all in there. And we have Claire. Who else? We have Helen. And we have Marianne. Right. So there's 5 of you ladies that are in the chance to win this. I'll mix it all up. And I have picked out Helen. Helen's won. So hopefully you all have been able to see that. Helen, I know Helen's going to be coming along to one of my classes this week. So Helen, you have won this kit. It's the festive tag kit. This way. I've made this up. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So you'll be able to make a whole 15 tags. So there you go. Christmas gifting's all sorted. So I'll pop your name on it, Helen. So I've got it here. And when you come along to class this week, it'll be waiting for you. Now, let's get back to this card. Today, we're doing an easel card. And I'm going to bring in, get myself organised, my trimmer. And I'm starting with Pretty Peacock paper. Now, this card uses a bit of paper because we do a double up, but we're going to start first of all by cutting it in half. So again, it's just your normal cardstock. And no, we're not going to do that because I want to cut it. Oh, I'll do that in a minute. We're going to cut it in half, a normal piece of cardstock. And I need to have it so that I've got very direct measurements because I need to match it up. So instead of just using it at its normal length, which is 29.8, we're going to cut it down to a straight 29. And that means we will score it in half at 14.5. So that we've got a very precise measurement. So that's 10.5 by 29 scored halfway at 14.5. And we'll just fold that over, grab the bone folder. I've rearranged a few things on my desk and I keep going to the wrong places, but that's all right. So there we go. That's our basic card. But we're going to make an easel. So to make our easel, and if I was doing a straight easel, I would score in half here, so it would fold like that. But I'm doing an angled easel, and I'm going to score this one from the bottom. We'll make this the front. From the bottom of the front on the left to the top of the right on the front. So we've got a card front now that's like that, and when we fold it, again I'll use the bone folder and show you. So we've got a nice crisp fold. When we fold it, it sits up like so. So we've sort of got a little pyramid-y type thing there. Now, to make the front of our card, I'm going to cut another piece of the card base at exactly 14.5, so it matches. And this will sit on like at the front here and glued on, but when you open your card, it will stand up like that, so that your card has a lovely easel look, and we can see some of the base as well. Now we'll go through how we're going to, that's the basics of the card, but how we're going to decorate the card is another matter. So first of all, I'm going to take a piece for inside the card. So that's going to be 14 centimetres. And I'm going to do it at 10. So that's just 0.5 centimetre shorter than the card base. So that will sit in there like so. I'm also going to do a front piece for the card. And let me see, I have to think about this. That's, again, this is 10 centimetres, we need it 10 centimetres wide. So we'll cut that off. So that's the same as the card. And at the moment, this is the same as the inside. It's 14 centimetres. But I want to do a bit of fancy on the front of the card, so I'm going to make this 9 centimetres. And you'll see what I mean when I start putting it together. So I think what we might do now is stamp next, and then I will show you some of the other things that I'm going to have to cut. So I'm going to take we'll take this piece first. Now, because this is only 1/2 centimetre difference on one side to a square, check twice before you start stamping, because I can tell you twice I've done this card and twice I have stamped it the wrong way and had to restamp. So this is 9.5. So we want 9.5 along the bottom and 10 on the side. And if you haven't got grid paper, just check with your ruler. And that's got 10 on the side. And that's because it's going on the front of the card like so. And if you stamp it the other way, it's too small. You can make it work, but it is a bit small. So let's make sure, now that I've moved it around, I'm going to double check. Yes, we're 10 centimetres. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take, using some of my favourite colours, Berry Burst. And I'm using a stamp set. I've got it over here. It's called Friendship Royalty. And this is just such a fun stamp set. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, this is just for kids. But this is actually a card that you could give to a child, a teenager, an adult. It actually is a lot of fun. So we're going to use it. It's got a couple of crowns and you can make a wand, and it's got a couple of great sayings in here, you know, your friendship royalty, thanks for fixing my crown, to the birthday queen, if the crown fits, and you were born to be fabulous, not perfect. So I really think it's perhaps more for the grown-ups than the kids. So we're going to start with the crown. And I'm using the biggest crown because we all need to have a big crown, don't we? So that's that one. And my next step is I'm going to put on the front of mine to the birthday queen. And I'm going to use, let me just get that over there because I'll end up with that colour everywhere from that stamp. To the birthday queen, and we're just going to pop that under here. So that one I'm finished with. And then on the front of the card, I'm going to put some magic swirls. And I'm using the Bubble Bath Pink. So it's very pale and allows the crown and the words to shine through, but it gives that very cute look. Well, now I'm going to leave that out because, we'll pop that aside. I'm going to leave that out because I'm going to use this on this piece of the card. Now when we stand it up, this bottom piece will show and this top piece will be covered. So that's a good place to write, and down here will show. So where we can write, I'm just going to put some light swirls there. So that's where you're going to write happy birthday and from to and from and all that. And down here, I'll better take it off that. I don't want it over that this time. I'm going to put a little swirl here so that now when we stand it up, there's a little bit to catch your eye. So those two pieces are stamped. There is a bit more stamping to come, but we will stop stamping for a minute. I'm going to, this bit goes on here. I'm going to cut, excuse me, my daughter's just arrived back.
Have you seen my iPad?
It's her. She's after her iPad. We all need our iPads. It's in the front room.
Thank you.
She's been at bowling this morning, 10-pin bowling, so they've just arrived back. I'll find out who won. They play 2 games in their little league. I shouldn't call them their little league. They do league bowling on Saturday morning, and she does very well at it and loves it. So now I've pulled those out. When you get distracted, you don't follow what you're doing, do you? We're going to be doing some cutting first to finish off the front of the card. I'm going to bring in some of my favourite paper because it's got my favourite colours. It's got Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, Berry Burst and Bubble Bath. Which are the colours we're using today? We're using the Pretty Peacock, the Berry Burst and the Bubble Bath. And this paper is called the Soft Shimmer Specialty Paper. I have to read the name or I get confused. We have so many beautiful papers this year. Now, it does have Night of Navy, but this card I haven't used Night of Navy. I've used all the other colours. And as you can see, there's 1 sheet of each. I'm running out. I love this paper so much, I'll have to buy some more. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need to cut, I want to put some shimmer paper, well, we haven't got that in, yes we have, down the side here, and I want to use a variety of colours. So I'm just going to cut this up here at 2.5 because I know that's 10 centimetres. So I want 2.5 centimetres, so that's going to have it a Guernsey, and I need to measure I want it to sit there with that. So let's have a look at the ruler and see what my measurements are. We're looking at 4.5 centimetres. So I'll just cut that at 4.5 centimetres. And that one can go there. Then I'm running out of pink. I think there was a little bit of pink in here. Pink, dark pink, Berry Burst. Great colour. So we'll use this little bit to start with. So again, we need 2.5 centimetres. I don't want it to get too big because then it all won't work out at 10 centimetres, so I'm trying to get it quite exact. 2.5 centimetres by 4.5 centimetres. And I'll pop that one here. This is going to have a lot of glitter on it. Now we'll pop those out of the road. I've got a little bit of the Lost Lagoon here. It's all a bit, that's a straight edge. Definitely a straight edge. I've lined it up and it's definitely straight. So I'll pop that up the top and trim a bit off that first to straighten it up. And then I'm going to go over this side because of the way I've done that. 2.5 centimetres on this side. Now I'll pop that one aside and I need this to be 4.5 again. And lastly, I've got this piece of paper. Now I've already been cutting this at 2.5. So this is how I'm going to do it. This, I know this is at 2.5 already because I've cut some off to make the previous card. So I'm just going to cut roughly 4.5 centimetres that way. Now I'm going to bring it down the bottom here. Can we see? Can I get this down far enough? If I go in like that, I haven't got it flat. I recommend you usually do it flat, but I want you to be able to see. Because it's up here, it's harder to measure. So if I move it down to the bottom here and move it along to the 4.5 here, and cut along there. Oh, and it didn't cut because I have it on an angle and it's not flat. So let me just knock that out. That's how you change them. They just slide in and out, and it's not going to slide in for me. There we go. Let me see what I've got up here I can move. That might be better. So let's try this again now that it's flat, and hopefully you can see, and you can't. So that's at 4.5 by 2.5. So that's the front of the card. Let's start gluing some of these bits down. So I'm using my favourite multi-purpose glue. There's a bit of excitement in this house this morning because we're off to Corio Castle today. Beautiful warm day it's going to be. Well, not warm, but lovely. Lovely day for doing things. I think it's going to be about 20 degrees, no wind. So we thought we'd head over there and catch up with some friends over there. So I'm just placing these together just to give it all a bit of glamour, a bit of sparkle, glitter. And because I've measured and got to the right size, hopefully this one now fits in the top. It's a little bit over, but I think we'll get away with it. That looks pretty good. Right. They're all stuck. Let's grab some bling. Now, I normally put bling on in sets of 3, 5, 7, 9. Today we're going to do a lot of bling. And I've got bits cut everywhere. But we'll take this piece and I'm going to take my pick with its little putty on the end so it can pick up these. I'm going to pop these. This is the small size of the bling. This is, what's this one called? Iridescent Rhinestones Basic Jewels. I love these. They're clear, as you can see. I'll pop it up closer with just one sheet on. Oh, the big ones might help you see it better. But they've got a bit of a sparkle to it that has a pinky, orangey, yellow. And I find they pick up the colours that you put them on really, really well. So it's giving this a bit of a pinky look because I'm popping it over where all these, and if you can't see, I'll hold it up close and I'll point with my other end of this. All these pieces, there's some bigger ones, which we'll put bigger ones. They're the little Dementis. Now, I'm not going to cover every single one. We're not covering the ones up the top here, but we will go right round here and right along here to really say this is a princess or a queen's crown. So I'll just put another one in here. And along the bottom, I'm going to use bigger ones in the centre at the top. And this one. And this one. And we need another couple more. This one here. And this one here. And then out of bigger ones, actually I didn't use the jumbo ones, those ones. There's 3 sizes on here. There's the small, middle and jumbo. I use these middle ones because the jumbo ones were just too big for this crown. You could use them, but I chose these ones instead. So how many have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's quite a lot for me. I never usually do that many. It's rare for me to do 9, let alone 14. But I just felt this crown needed it. And if you were really keen, you could go all the way along the top too. But I think 14's done its service there. So that's the front of the card, but now we have to get it onto the front of the card. So, and we have to get our middle piece on. So let's just glue those on. Right, that one goes there. So there's our middle piece. Now for our front piece, we need to glue it just to this side, not this side. So we're just going to pop the glue here. Oops, off I've gone. I might just grab a cloth wipe and just clean up that bit because I don't want stickiness all over the place. And especially don't want the card to stick together. So that little blob could be a problem. We'll just spread it out. Now I know if I put my card down and stick it to the front, not moving it around too much, I've matched it all up to the size here. And I'll just press it down there for a minute. And we have our card, but it's not going to stay without some help. So while that all those glues dry properly, I'm going to cut out a couple of bits. And I'm going to use these. This is the Something Fancy dies. And I grabbed them before. I'm using these, the smallest and the middle one. And I'm going to take this bit of white paper that was left over from the side here, and I'm going to cut one of those out. And I want to add some sparkle inside the card. So I'm going to cut one of these out too. So I'm just going to get that to the corner and cut a small piece. So we'll bring in our mini cut and emboss machine. Get the things out of the road that we don't need. And our plates, 1 and 2 down. First I'm going to cut this one. Now, when you're doing cutting, die cutting, these fancy papers, these sparkly ones, or even the foiled ones, sometimes it's got like a film that we've got to get through. So I actually run that through and back to give it a second go through to help get it cut. Now you'll see what I mean. It's still holding in place, but I have cut it. It's just now a matter of peeling it out. And then for this one, we'll just cut that through. And this one we only need to do once because it's the normal, not very vanilla, we're using basic white today, cardstock. So bring our stamping mat back in. I'm going to put these here. I don't know if I've told you, I've lost many a die not putting them straight back on their sheets. And that's why also I have drawn where each die goes, so I know where to put it back and what's missing. Now we'll bring in our stamping mat, and I'm going to use, again, our Pretty Peacock ink, and I'm going to stamp on this piece, "You were born to be fabulous, not perfect." I think that's a great saying. So there it is. Now, if I use, I'm going to glue this on top of this. If I used my normal multi-purpose glue, it takes a long time to dry. So I'm going to use some tearing tape because that sticks to the glittery paper better and quick. So I'm just going to tear a couple of bits off. And pop that on. And try and get it straight. And in the middle, both up and down. In the middle, up and down and across. That looks all right. And to put it on, I'm going to use some of the dimensionals. Now, I want this to be quite solid and not to sink. So I'm going to use 6 dimensionals. I'm a dimensional queen. I love to use as many, or quite a lot, so that I can keep the card sitting upright. Some people use only a few and they gasp at how many I use. Now, to know where to place this so the card stands up nicely, I'm going to stand my card up how I want it to sit. So I want it sitting like that. So I'm going to place that there while the card's sitting like that. And now we have our card all ready to go. So it's quick, it's easy. You just need to know how to cut it. If you cut it across, it would sit up. I have one. I do have one here. I'll tell you where I've got them. But easy is, here's one. And I will show you more on I keep all these samples so that I know, oh, this is how I do an easel card, and what we call an easy easel, which is just sitting straight up. But today I gave you the diamond easel, and I don't think I've put we can put one in to show it. Oh yes, I have, which sits on the angle. So you've got, there's 2 different easels there. Okay, and this one is the diamond. So just thought I'd show you that you know, there is, you can do it straight across if you're not confident to do it on the diagonal. You just do your scoring straight across at the halfway mark and it will stand up that way. So just a little tip there. But today we did our diamond easel, and I know I'd love to receive this card with its sparkle saying, to the birthday queen, you were born to be fabulous, not perfect. I think many of us would enjoy that one. A bit of fun and a good laugh. Not flowers this time, something different. Anyhow, let's pop you back up and I'll say goodbye so that you can get on with your day. I don't want you to be stuck with me too long, and I need to get out there to Corio Castle and explore. It's been 25, 30 years since I've been there, so it'll be an interesting visit. So hopefully you'll have a fun day today and enjoy some of the sunshine where you are. Hopefully it's not too cold or wet. It's just lovely. And I'll look forward to catching up with you next week. Next week will be a little bit different. I will be on holidays, but I'll have some things to show you. Probably won't be able to craft too much. Taking my daughter away for the holidays, school holidays for a week. So we'll catch up with you next week, but it will be something a little bit different, and that you will get to see a lot more fancy folds. Have a good week, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.